Hello, Mooncrafters. Welcome. This is Craft of Moon. Today we are tracking a full moon in Taurus, which isn't just a regular lunar event. It's a high-stakes staring contest. Picture a very stubborn bull, hooves dug in deep, locking eyes with an impossibly intense scorpion, tail poised and ready. Neither one of them is blinking. This isn't just about what you see in the world or even what you think. It's about what you feel, right down to your bones. It's the universe calling out for honesty, especially with yourself, about what you truly own, what you fear losing, and what is hiding in the dark. So, here's our game plan for navigating this wild week. First, we'll dive into this epic standoff between what's hidden deep inside you and what's undeniably real, right in front of your face. Then we'll meet Mars, who's currently acting like a philosophy professor who just found a flamethrower and a parkour course full of big ideas and explosive energy. After that, we'll check in on Venus, our planet of connection and pleasure, who's traded her party dress for a trench coat and a hidden microphone. She's digging for the truth beneath the surface of our bonds. And finally, and most importantly, we'll talk about where to find a little bit of solid ground, a real anchor in all of this beautiful absurdity. Because even when the sky is doing somersaults, you can find your calm center. I just want to also mention here at the beginning, I'm having some problems with my contact, especially my right side. So you might see me blinking a little bit during this video. It's simply because my contact is kind of tweaking out a little bit. All right, are you ready? Let's get going. If you're feeling extra stubborn this week, like, I will not move from this couch no matter what truth is revealed, stubborn, drop a bull emoji in the comments below. Smash the like button if you've been digging for secrets lately, especially your own, or if you've had to stand your ground. And please subscribe, because honestly, we all need a map for this strange territory we call being human. This channel is your quirky navigational guidance, where we focus on the moon and the way that she moves in the sky. A quick note, if all of this feels a bit too close to home and you want to understand your own unique brand of beautiful chaos, my readings are open. The link is waiting for you down in the description. Now let's get into it. Imagine this scene unfolding in the sky and echoing in your own life. On one side, the sun is blazing away in Scorpio. This isn't just a bright light, it's a high-powered floodlight pointed at the darkest, most secret corners of your psyche. Scorpio energy, in the old maps, rules things like other people's money, inheritances, hidden fears, and all the psychological gunk we keep locked in the basement of our minds. It's the universe's private investigation firm, asking, what are you hiding? What do you truly fear losing? What do you actually owe to yourself, to others, to your own past? It's the feeling of things stirring in the deep, a quiet intensity demanding answers from the shadowy corners of your life. It feels like a silent, slow rumble, a pressure building below the surface, forcing you to look at uncomfortable truths about control, desire, and transformation. This sun in Scorpio is the unflinching gaze, the X-ray vision, finding the fault lines in your hidden desires and secret power plays. It exposes the emotional debts you carry, the unexamined legacies, and your silent fears that shape your choices. It doesn't pull punches, it simply illuminates. And directly across from this intense interrogation, sitting calmly with absolute certainty in a field of wildflowers, is the full moon in Taurus. Taurus is the grounded, touchable, eatable part of life. It's what you can build with your own two hands, your income, your stuff, your physical comforts, your body, your sense of worth, your ability to sustain yourself. The moon here is strong. She's at her absolute best, fertile, steady, deeply rooted in her senses. She doesn't much care for your existential crisis right now. She cares if you've eaten. She wants to know, are you safe? Are you fed? What is real right here, right now? Can you feel your feet on the earth? She's the bull who just wants to chew her cud in peace, but she's also the force that will not be moved when her security is threatened. She demands tangible proof, physical reassurance. She's the quiet strength that insists on comfort and stability, the simple, undeniable need for solid ground when everything else feels uncertain. A full moon is always an opposition. It's a moment of peak light where nothing can truly hide. And this one is a standoff between the invisible currents of your soul and the tangible needs of your body. Between a deep, churning psychological fear and the simple animal needs for stability. It's the tension between knowing you need to change and wanting desperately to keep things just as they are. Have you ever felt that? That feeling where deep, unnamed anxiety from your soul's basement suddenly shows up as a panic attack about your bank account, or when a secret power struggle in a relationship manifests as a knot of tension in your shoulders that just won't go away. That's this full moon in a nutshell. It's the soul screaming for truth and the body demanding safety. It's the fear of ruin making your stomach drop, or the hidden resentment in a partnership showing up as a constant ache in your lower back. Your physical reality becomes the mirror for your unspoken fears. The sun in Scorpio sends out a signal. We need to talk about the complicated, messy, hidden, juicy, dark roots that nourish us and also bind us. And the moon in Taurus replies, not until I've had my snack, my nap, and felt the solid ground beneath me. What's the actual plan for my survival here? This isn't about being right and the other wrong. It's a call to balance. You can't ignore the foundations of your life, your physical body, your money, your home, just because you're exploring the depths of your soul. And you can't pretend those depths don't exist by simply building prettier walls and buying more comfortable furniture. The hidden truth always finds a way to demand attention in the material world. The hidden truth always finds a way to demand attention in the material world. We see this same drama playing out in the world, don't we? Stories of long festering suffering, hidden conflicts, human disasters suddenly erupt into public view. Think of intense situations that leave many without food or home, or the earth shaking in far-off lands. These are moments where the unseen suffering demands the most basic physical resources, food, shelter, physical safety. On another stage, we see nations making agreements and pacts, these unseen declarations of intent, while the actual reality on the ground, the demolitions and broken ceasefires in places, tells a much more physical story of displacement and loss. Even the discussions around global trade and sanctions on goods highlight this tension. An abstract law colliding with concrete resources and the real impact on people. The hidden mechanics of global finance and power are made visible through their effects on real people and real resources. This full moon asks you, where in your life is the invisible demanding to be seen in the material world? Where is your body holding on to a secret? Where is your bank account telling a story about your deepest fears or your most truest values? Don't run from it. Don't ignore it. Just look. That's the full moon, the gaze of truth on the world. The light is on. This is a powerful moment for seeing clearly, for bringing the hidden into the light of the day so it can be truly processed and integrated. This is not about judgment. It's about seeing clearly with the intention of understanding. Now, while the sun and moon are locked in their epic stare down, Mars, our resident agent of action, has just kicked down the door into Sagittarius. Let's give this character some more flair. Mars is the god of action, conflict, and cutting things away. He's a warrior, pure and simple. Sagittarius is the zodiac sign of the philosopher, the prophet, the long-distance traveler, the one who seeks big truths and grand adventures. It's ruled by Jupiter, the planet of big ideas, wisdom, belief. So Mars in Sagittarius is like a philosophy professor who's had way too much espresso, just discovered parkour, and is now convinced he has found the one true answer to everything. He's not just talking, he's leaping from rooftop to rooftop, shouting his grand theories about truth and justice, and maybe setting a few things on fire along the way because, well, he's Mars. He's not interested in nuance. He's not here for a friendly debate. He wants to win the argument. He's fighting for a belief, and he's ready to go to war for it with an almost reckless optimism, convinced he's riding the high road to enlightenment. And who is he shouting at? Directly across the sky, he's in a tense face-off with Uranus, who's currently glitching back and forth on the border of Gemini and Taurus. This is a particularly twitchy electric setup. Uranus is the great awakener, Prometheus, the quirky disruptor, the sudden plot twist you never saw coming. In Gemini, the zodiac sign of communication and information, Uranus is like a rogue AI, spilling state secrets on the internet for the fun of it, or a sudden, shocking news broadcast that scrambles everyone's brains. As he backs into Taurus, the zodiac sign of stability and the economy, he's an earthquake shaking the very foundations of what we thought was solid and secure. He's the tech glitch that collapses the market or the sudden unpredictable shift in resources, and he's here to disrupt, to innovate, and to completely upend this status quo. Often without warning. He's the anarchist hacker of the zodiac, pulling the rug out from under all your carefully constructed certainties. So you have the fired up Professor Mars yelling his absolute truth at the alien trickster Uranus, who is currently trying to hack the global stock market and rewrite the entire internet code. This is not a polite conversation. It's a messy food fight. It's the energy of shocking news, of sudden separations, of ideological battles that erupt out of nowhere, driven by a zealous need for truth and an equally potent need for radical change. It's the feeling of your brain trying to process conflicting signals at warp speed, creating an almost volatile intellectual climate where everyone is absolutely certain they are right and the other side is absolutely wrong. Think about what's happening out there. We're hearing about nations forming tense new agreements, trying to draw new lines on the map to push back against aggression. This is Mars in Sagittarius declaring, this is what we believe and we will act on it. We're seeing leaders make bold, fiery statements that feel disconnected from the reality people are living, like a country not grasping another's interference concerns. It's the energy of a sudden, senseless disruption, a jarring, violent moment that shatters a sense of safety. It's the feeling that our words themselves have become volatile, that public conversation has become a battlefield. Even trade policy, like discussions around significant tariffs on common goods, becomes a philosophical battleground over economic truth. A fight over what's fair, what's right, and how the global pantry should be organized. This is Uranus shaking up the basic comforts through fiery rhetoric. The very fabric of our shared reality feels like it's being aggressively debated and abruptly altered. In your own life, this might feel like a sudden urgent need to break free from an old belief system that just doesn't fit anymore, or a sudden urge to speak your truth no matter the consequences. Or maybe it's a conversation that goes completely off the rails in a way you could never have predicted, leaving you reeling. The key here is not to get caught in the crossfire. Mars in Sagittarius wants you to stand for something. Uranus wants you to be open to radical change and embrace your inner innovator. Your job is to find the truth inside you that can withstand a good, hard shaking, and to allow for the kind of innovative solutions that only appear when structures are rattled. This chaotic energy can be a powerful catalyst for necessary personal evolution. Even if it feels jarring, it's about consciously choosing where to place your energy and how to respond to the sudden, unsettling shifts. All right, let's talk about the cloak and dagger department of the sky, because Venus, the planet of love, beauty, pleasure, and harmony, has just moved into Scorpio. This is where things get really interesting and a little spooky. Now, when Venus is in Libra, her other home, she's at a cocktail party, making sure everyone gets along and has a drink. She's diplomatic, charming, and obsessed with fairness and balance. But when Venus enters Scorpio, which is Mars's turf, a place of deep intensity and hidden power, she trades her party dress for a film noir trench coat and a hidden microphone. She's not interested in polite chatter anymore. She wants intensity. She wants raw, brutal honesty. She wants unwavering ride or die loyalty. Venus in Scorpio isn't just looking at relationships. She's investigating the power dynamics within them, the unspoken contracts, the deep attachments. She's looking at our finances, our art, our desires, and she wants to know what's really going on beneath the surface. She knows that desire and control, love and obsession often tangle together in a very messy knot. She's the femme fatale who will get to the bottom of the mystery, even if it hurts, even if it means digging up things no one wanted to see. She's less about sweet harmony and more about uncovering the deepest truths in our connections. And who does she have a tense back alley meeting with? Pluto, the Lord of the Underworld, currently lurking in Aquarius. Pluto is a ghost in the machine. He represents deep evolutionary transformation, the kind that happens on a collective level, whether we like it or not. He's the slow, unstoppable force that unearths buried truths and rebuilds from the ground up. In Aquarius, the zodiac sign of society, technology, and ideals, he's digging into the shadows of our networks, our communities, our political systems, and the vast interconnected web of technology. He finds where the power has become corrupt, where hidden controls are exerted, and he exposes it slowly and unstoppably, often through systemic breakdowns or collective revelations. He's the whistleblower of the zodiac, forcing deep generational patterns to the surface for collective reckoning. So you have Venus, the detective, meeting Pluto, the ghost in the machine, and they're in a square, an aspect of friction, tension, and unavoidable challenge. This is not a casual coffee, it's a high-stakes confrontation. It's a psychological thriller playing out in your relationships and your values and your life. This is about power struggles in our connections and our communities. It's about confronting the hidden control dynamics in our romantic relationships, our friendships, our agreements. Under this sky, secrets become a form of currency, and the cost of keeping them hidden becomes too high. Jealousy and possessiveness can easily masquerade as deep passion, making it hard to tell the difference between true intimacy and manipulative control. It's a call to scrutinize what we value and how we connect, forcing a transformation in how we understand our bonds and our connections and those we love, those closest to us. It strips away the pleasantries to expose the raw magnetic forces that bind us and repel us. We see this exact story reflected in the headlines. A new law is passed to confront the darkest side of online content, targeting harmful images. That's a pure Venus-Pluto story about desire, power, technology, and what society deems acceptable or criminal, a collective confrontation with hidden, uncomfortable truths about our darker appetites and control. It's the assassination of a public figure, a violent end born from hidden motives and power plays, revealing the dangerous undercurrents of power in communities. It's the decision to end privileged prison conditions for criminals from a past regime, a transformation of justice that dredges up the ghosts of history and confronts old power structures, demanding accountability for past abuses. Even the investigation into a high-profile heist, uncovering basic criminals behind the glamour, speaks to hidden motives and exposing uncomfortable truths beneath the surface of what seems beautiful or untouchable, forcing a reassessment of what we truly value versus what we merely idolize. In your own life, this energy might bring up some uncomfortable truths about a relationship. You might have to look at where you give your power away out of a need for love, or where you try to control things or people out of fear. This is not a fun, light, breezy energy, but it is incredibly clarifying. Venus in Scorpio doesn't want pretty lies. She wants the messy, powerful truth, even if it's unsettling. And Pluto will make damn sure she finds it, ripping away facades to get to the core of what really matters in our connections and shared values. This is an invitation for deep transformation, asking you to redefine what love and true connection mean to you, and to approach your relationships with intentional honesty. So the world feels like a lot right now. We've got a standoff between instinct and soul, a shouting match of ideas and disruption, and a secret investigation into the hidden corners of our connections, all happening at once. Where on earth do we go from here? How do we find our footing when the ground beneath us feels like it's constantly shifting? For the answer, let's follow the moon's journey immediately after her full luminous moment, our personal inner guide. After her big, bright, and beautifully stubborn moment in Taurus, she continues her travels. A day later, she'll drift into Gemini and get zapped by that chaotic, electrifying Uranus energy, possibly bringing some of that shocking news or sudden changes we talked about. It's like the moon gets a jolt of strong espresso, waking us up to new possibilities, even if they're a bit jarring. But then a few days after that, she will glide into the watery, nurturing, and quiet sign of Cancer. This is a homecoming for the moon, a place where she feels safe, loved, and fully herself. And who is waiting for her there with open arms and a warm blanket? Jupiter. Jupiter is the great benefic, the planet of expansion, wisdom, faith, and abundance, and he is in Cancer, the sign ruled by the moon herself. This is his sign of exaltation. He is happy here, powerful here, like a big benevolent space grandpa sitting in his favorite armchair by the fire, ready to hand out warm cookies and genuinely good, expansive advice. He's here to offer comfort and growth, to remind you of the vast generosity of the universe when you open your heart. When the moon, our most personal planet, finally arrives in her own home and meets up with this generous, wise, and protective energy, it's a deep sigh of relief. It is a part of a very wild storm. After all the tension, all the revelation, all the disruption, this is the anchor. This is the moment for inner calm, for connecting to a wellspring of sustenance and care. This is where the chaotic energies of the week can find a soft landing, where the intensity can be met with deep acceptance. This is your invitation to find your own Cancerian refuge. Cancer energy relates to home, family, ancestors, and your deepest, most tender emotional roots. It's your foundation. It's where you go to feel safe and protected, where you can root down amidst the floods of change. This energy says, come home to yourself. Nourish your soul. Let yourself be held. It's about finding that core place of belonging, whether it's with loved ones, in a physical space, or simply within your own skin. It's where you can actively choose to create a sanctuary, to tend to your most essential needs without judgment. This is the real work of this lunar cycle. The full moon illuminates the problem. The chaotic planets force the issue into the open. But the destination, the goal of all this upheaval is compassion. Not just a soft, gentle feeling, but a fierce, grounded, and active practice. It's a deep intention to ease suffering, starting with your own. Compassion is the work of aid groups sending massive shipments of supplies into places of utter devastation following natural disasters. It's the active, urgent care given when physical life is threatened. It's the work of leaders using their platforms to refocus the world's attention on healing the earth, a deep collective act of care and foresight, aligning with a future of shared well-being. It is the simple, powerful act of creating a safe space in the middle of chaos, first for yourself, and then, if you can, for others. It's the reinstatement of basic assistance, however reduced, ensuring basic sustenance for those who need it, a most material manifestation of collective care. It's about seeing the suffering, both yours and others, and responding with a desire to alleviate it, not from a place of pity, but from a place of shared humanity. Your job this week is not to win the staring contest with your fears. It's not to win the philosophical argument with a stranger on the internet. It's to come home, to nourish yourself, to remember what and who truly supports you. It's about finding that deep, quiet place inside that the storms of the world cannot touch. It's a moment to practice equanimity, finding your balance amidst all the highs and lows, and to extend compassion to yourselves and others who are navigating their own versions of this current drama, with the intention of fostering genuine connection and healing. So what do we take away from all of this beautiful, messy chaos? The full moon in Taurus is a moment of raw physical truth. Your body knows, your gut knows. The bull in the field doesn't sit around and argue with the scorpion. It doesn't try to understand the scorpion's deep psychological motives or its childhood trauma. It just stands its ground. It knows the solid feel of the earth beneath its hooves. It knows the warmth of the sun on its back. It knows without thinking what is real, what sustains, and what truly belongs to it. In a world that feels increasingly loud, abstract, and unhinged, where global crises demand immediate physical aid, where ideological battles create sudden societal ruptures, and where hidden power struggles are constantly being exposed, your greatest power is to return to that simple, grounded, physical knowing, to anchor yourself in the tangible, in the present moment, and in the quiet wisdom of your own body. This is an act of deep self-compassion to reconnect with the very core of your being. The real work is to feel your feet on the floor, to notice the feeling of your own breath moving in and out of your body, to eat a meal and actually taste it, to find moments of stillness and simple comfort. The tensions in the world will still be there. The Mars-Uranus arguments won't just disappear. The Venus-Pluto secrets won't magically resolve themselves overnight. But you will have an anchor. You will have a place of refuge within yourself. This is a call to find your equanimity, to find that still point in a turning, churning world. From that place of groundedness, you can engage with all the chaos, not from a place of frantic reaction, but from a place of deep and steady compassion. You can hold space for the world's pain and for your own without being completely swept away by it. You can respond with intention rather than just reacting. You become a steady lighthouse in your own storm, casting a light of understanding and care, first for yourself and then for everything else. Find your field, stand your ground, and breathe. Until next time, keep your eye on the sky and make a wish upon a star.